The skills we misplace when we delegate by default. Delegation is easiest the moment you can no longer notice what you gave away. Automation does not merely replace labor, it captures judgment by rewarding speed over understanding. By delegation default, I mean the habitual choice to hand decisions to tools and procedures first, treating human review as optional and late. The mechanism is simple and unsentimental. Incentives push work toward whatever is cheapest, fastest, and least accountable in the short term. When an automated path exists, the organization, the team, and the individual feel a constant pressure to route more through it, because the visible metric is throughput and the invisible cost is competence. Start with a constraint. Attention is finite, and time for practice is scarcer than time for consumption. Under that constraint, the system allocates attention toward what is immediately rewarded: clearing queues, shipping outputs, closing tickets, completing tasks. Practice that builds audit capacity looks slow, and slowness is punished, even when accuracy is praised in speeches. Now the feedback loop. Less practice produces weaker intuition. Weaker intuition makes review feel harder. Harder review increases reliance on the delegated output. Increased reliance further reduces practice. Dependency is not a dramatic event. It is a quiet gradient. The moment a person cannot explain a result, they become less willing to challenge it. The moment they cannot challenge it, they become less able to notice drift. There is also a trade-off that never goes away. You can optimize for speed or for comprehension, but not fully for both at once. Faster delegation reduces friction today and increases fragility tomorrow, because the skill that disappears is not only execution, it is verification. The disappearing skills are the ones that let a human say, "This seems wrong," and then prove it. Basic estimation, boundary checking, interpreting signals, tracing causes, and holding a model of the process in mind. Watch how proxy drift enters. A team may measure tasks completed or response time as the proxy for value. Once that metric becomes the score, it can be gamed without anyone intending harm. Tasks get split into smaller units to inflate counts. Responses get sent quickly but shallowly to meet a clock. Ambiguous cases get routed away because they threaten the average. The proxy starts steering the work, and the work starts serving the proxy. Quality becomes a story told after the fact, not a property verified in the moment. Automation amplifies this because it creates a clean interface. Input goes in, output comes out, and the messy middle is hidden. The hidden middle is where judgment lives. When judgment is hidden, the easiest rent to collect is the appearance of certainty. The system can look stable while its understanding erodes, because the audits that would reveal erosion are themselves treated as waste. That is the shrinking audit capacity. Fewer people can review, fewer can diagnose, and even fewer can rebuild the path if it fails. So the skill that disappears first is not doing the work, it is knowing what the work is. Delegation default turns knowledge into a dependency. You can use it, but you cannot recreate it. And anything you cannot recreate, you cannot truly own. This is not a complaint about tools. It is a statement about responsibility under incentives. When outputs arrive with low friction, attention shifts from understanding to selection, choosing the option that looks plausible, clicking the path that closes the loop, accepting the answer that fits the format. Meaning thins when the relationship between action and consequence becomes opaque. A person may still feel responsible for outcomes, but responsibility without audit capacity becomes performative. You sign your name to something you cannot examine. That is a quiet form of capture, not coercion, just the steady narrowing of what you are equipped to question. The externality lands later, when a rare case appears, when a constraint changes, when a hidden assumption breaks. The room discovers that competence was not stored anywhere except in habits that were no longer practiced. Attention is where this becomes personal. Whatever claims your attention trains you. If attention is trained on finishing, you become a finisher. If it is trained on inspecting, you become an inspector. Systems that celebrate speed will produce people who are fast at compliance with the proxy and slow at seeing the truth behind it. And once that happens, choice narrows. You cannot choose to understand what you never learned to observe. A disciplined reflection can be small and precise. In your work, which metric is most persuasive? Speed, volume, consistency, cost, approval, uptime, on time, done. Where does that metric collect rent by making some kind of care look inefficient? and alongside it name one value that might be erased by serving that metric. Clarity, craft, safety, dignity, curiosity, patience, accountability, or honest uncertainty. If a tool or process offers you a result, what would you need to know to audit it? Not in theory, but in practice. What part of your judgment has become ceremonial, and what part still has teeth? These questions do not demand nostalgia. They only reveal what your incentives are training you to become. Delegation default is a bargain. Convenience now, comprehension later.